Comebacks in CSGO aren't necessarily uncommon, but there are very few occasions where teams have ever recovered from a 13-2 halftime deficit. And, well, that's exactly what happened in this matchup between Liquid and Vitality at IEM Katowice. Today, I'm going to be breaking down possibly one of the best comebacks of all time and showing you how Liquid's individuals and team play powered up throughout the map to take this one over the line. To start off though, I want to explain how Vitality got a 13-round CT side in the first place. A lot of this came off the back of Magisk and dupreeh constantly finding gaps in Team Liquid's T side. Let's break down this mid-round monster push from the Danish duo. This play is a calculated one, and it is based on the control being gained and the utility being used by Team Liquid. You can see from the beginning of this round, Vitality maintains a relatively passive setup towards the A site. And this means there is a significant lack of information in key areas of the map, including both long and bathrooms. So with EliGE flashing long here and then Nitro also flashing towards the bathrooms, they're going to show presence in both these two key areas, and this actually prompts Magisk and dupreeh to gain information through Monster. And they do this because they assume that Liquid is taking more control towards bathrooms, investing more players towards that area. Now, obviously in this round, Liquid do actually have a few players invested towards this B area of the map, but Vitality is still going to catch them off guard and get a couple of freebies, locking down this round. In this first half, Vitality really looked like a well-oiled machine, and well, Liquid, they really struggled early on in this game. Let's take a look at round 2. Here, Liquid go for a force buy after losing the first pistol round, and I actually like what Liquid tried to do in the beginning of this round. They invest most of their players early on towards Fountain, and eventually they manage to take long control and get EliGE in a very strong position outside long bathrooms. And from here, Liquid reposition in order to garner some control at the other side of the map near Monster, and this is where I feel Liquid maybe make a little bit of a mistake here. With so many players invested here, it might have actually been stronger for Liquid to take short B instead. This would have opened up a very strong rotation to the A site, and with EliGE maintaining the long control, an A site split might have been a very strong option here. However, instead, Nitro is actually just going to walk into short B solo, losing control of the bomb, and this basically just throws the whole round into disarray. Because if we look at the map here, at this point, every single Liquid player is just spread out without the opportunity to trade anyone or group up to hit a site. So Liquid now has to regain bomb control and hit the site. And while they do manage to get control of the bomb, with such little time left, Vitality are just ready to deny the plant regardless and secure the round. So yeah, the first half went pretty badly for Team Liquid, and it's no surprise considering they lost 12 out of the 15 opening duels on this T side. And with Overpass being such a big map, you need a lot of players to really coordinate a site hit and pull off an execute. So with a 13-2 scoreline at the half, they would have to pull off a miracle. A comeback that had never been seen before in Tier 1 Counter-Strike, and well, it seems like they were up for the challenge. But before we continue, I'd like to give a shout out to today's sponsor, Market.CSGO. Market.CSGO is one of the largest CSGO marketplaces in the entire world with over 90,000 daily trades. Right now, they are working on a brand new UI design, which we can actually check out by clicking over here. As you can see, the new site is looking very, very nice. So from here, we can just log in through Steam and start checking out the skins. Let's say I wanted to grab this Desert Eagle Code Red. All I gotta do is click on the item, and once we get to the item page, we can see what kind of stickers are on the skins, what the float of the item is, and also the price history for this specific item. But what if I wanted to sell my skins? Well, all I have to do is click on my profile and click on sell items. From here, I can easily select the items from my inventory and also select the price that I want to sell it for. Market.CSGO also make it super easy to deposit and withdraw with a bunch of different payment options available. So if you want to buy and sell skins, check out Market.CSGO using the link in the video description. In the second half, we started off well with Liquid actually claiming the pistol round victory, and while the next round wasn't the cleanest, Liquid still managed to convert it nonetheless. Now, in the 18th round, Team Liquid get punished pretty hard for running this double wood setup, and this leads to some great entries onto the B site, and Vitality getting to 14 rounds. This monster hold is going to be a little bit of a theme here as we continue on throughout this game, and I can assure you that this is going to be pretty essential for Liquid to really get rolling on this CT side. So in the next round, Liquid are going to force buy around the saved M4 that NAF has. And while this buy is less than ideal, Liquid manages to set up perfectly to counter Vitality's aggressive long take. And while this is probably pretty lucky in the grand scheme of things, they do take the win here with NAF getting a great multi-kill. And this leads to not only the round victory, but also free rifles for the entirety of Liquid heading into the next round. And speaking of the next round, we start to see glimpses of how Liquid managed to pull back this game. While EliGE trades 1-for-1 at the beginning of this round, we can see that he is not afraid to take fights and he's playing confidently. And on the other side of the map as well, we can see Nitro pushing and taking space at Monster. The interesting thing about this game is that it never really felt like Liquid gave up. They were always trying to win rounds while playing their own game, and in this round at least it works out very, very well. And in round 22 it works out not so great. Liquid again give up this space towards Monster, and Vitality do a fantastic job of exploiting it by setting up spinks to find some great entries onto the B site, leading to the 15th round victory for Vitality and leaving Liquid face up against a monstrous 15-7 scoreline. So what happens from this point? Well, we all know what happens from this point, but how do they do it? Well, Liquid decide to really step up, and they start to actually force control around the map, starting with, of course, Monster. Nitro is going to really punish Vitality here for trying to pull off the same move from the previous round, and he eliminates Spinks early on. And you can really see the adjustment here as Nitro and NAF finally set up in a way to control Monster. Even though Vitality makes it close, Liquid managed to close out the round and take the first step up the mountain ahead of them. The next round, oSee and EliGE run a pretty cool but risky punish setup. oSee is going to find the opening kill onto Magisk in Connector, and this leads to dupreeh attempting to find space long. Now, there's a couple of reasons why dupreeh just runs out like this. The first is that he knows the AWP cannot be at long right now, and he also assumes that Liquid would be supporting oSee either from divider or connector, just helping oSee get out of connector and play safe. So when dupreeh starts taking a fight from tree out long, you can see that he really does not expect this at all. Now, this is obviously a pretty big risk for Liquid to take, but you kind of need to take some of these risks if you want to try and claw this game back. Now, oSee and EliGE are going to be names that you hear pretty often as we break down this comeback, because they really showed up massively, and they were almost untouchable towards this A site. And when Vitality wanted to punish this by going towards the B site instead, well, oSee was there as well. It was like a never-ending nightmare for Vitality on this T side. They lost opening after opening after opening. Round 29 in particular was very significant. Vitality is setting up an A site execute, and the thing that makes A site execute so strong on the T side is having a long lurk. In this particular execute, Apex is that player. Now, it's extremely important for Apex to find the perfect timing here to punish the long player while his team executes the A site. But Apex makes a critical error. Instead of waiting for his team to execute the site before he goes out long, he actually walks out a little early and puts himself in a really awkward position that EliGE is going to punish. He finds him before the A site execute even happens, and this basically just allows EliGE to completely focus on supporting the A site while also utilizing some of the strongest crossfires on the map between truck and long. And when you add in the fact that oSee is hitting some fantastic shots as well here, there's basically no chance for Vitality to win this round. And the very next round is a round that I think Vitality will also deeply regret. I think that Apex calling this round really attests to the fact that Vitality was really feeling the pressure here. A B rush strat can be a great way to switch up the pace while you have rounds to play with, but when it's the final round of regulation and you are on the brink of losing a 13-2 half, a B rush is probably not so great. Liquid read into this perfectly and set up Yakinda to find a devastating 3k spray down, and after NAF cleans up the final two, we head into overtime. Now, overtime was kind of weird because both teams started playing really well on the T side now. This is where Liquid and Vitality started to play some really nice T side rounds. Vitality took a much more calculated approach towards the B site, and while this didn't quite work out in the first overtime round, you can see how it does work out in the final overtime round of this half, where Vitality used some really effective util on a very good timing to find some great entries into the B site. However, with Team Liquid finding the previous 2 rounds, the first half of overtime actually ends at a 17-16 scoreline in favor of Team Liquid. And in round 34, Liquid managed to push this lead to 18 with some great opening kills from Nav and EliGE. In the next round, Liquid are a little bit too easy to read here, and they give Spinks a lot of space. So Spinks is able to push all the way to deep connector and is disciplined enough to just get the information here and also punishes Naf at the end. So Vitality are going to get the information to stack the A site before Team Liquid's execute even comes in. So we end up in another situation where a single round separates these 2 teams. Another situation where 1 round is the difference between closing this game out now or risking another overtime. And this time, Liquid are in the driver's seat. This is perhaps one of the most memorable rounds from this game, and for good reason. The round seemingly felt in Vitality's control for the majority of the early stages. They not only obtained a 1-man advantage, but a 2-man advantage early on into this round, leading to a 5 versus 3 situation in favor of Vitality. So how does Liquid pull this back? Well, it starts with Naf, who's going to find an essential trade onto Magus, which is going to rein it back to a 4v3. However, Vitality should still have a pretty significant advantage in this situation. But unfortunately, this is where yet again Apex is going to make a critical error. However, this time it's not only going to lose the round, but also the map. You see, this angle that Apex is holding is completely terrible, and this was highlighted by a few analysts on the desk at the time. But as we look at this from EliGE's perspective, we can see how by the time EliGE is going to see Apex, he also sees Dupree on the same angle, basically defeating the entire purpose of this setup. This is supposed to be a bait setup where Apex sets up Dupree for success, however he actually just sets him up for failure instead. If Apex just moved to the right or boosted himself up onto the grate, he would have put himself in a great position to find himself a kill and also set up Dupree to close out the round. But in this setup here, Dupree is going to not get a single kill and EliGE finds the double instead. They get the bomb plant down and Naf is going to find some great late round kills here, finds Spinks in connector, and he wins the 1 versus 1 clutch against ZywOo to win the round and the map, completing the comeback. So that's the video. If you enjoyed the content, leave it a like to let me know, and also subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Peace out.